dear students, good afternoon. I hope you all are safe and at home. While having a conversation with many of you, I realized that they discussed that COVID-19 pandemic has disturbed their plans of internships and placements. Many of you discussed with me that they are interested in pursuing higher studies. We discussed this with the director, and today we have arranged for a Zoom meeting for those who are interested in pursuing further studies abroad. Today we have Mr. Dahat and Mr. Pandey from Interwise Education, who provide end-to-end consultation to students and parents for overseas communication. Overseas education. So later in the meeting, the regional manager from North Texas University is also going to join. You can ask them your queries and doubts regarding whatever questions that you have. Your parents also may join. So first, they will be giving us information about their company, as well as the regional manager will be from North Texas University will be giving us information. And once that is over, you can shoot your questions to them. So with this introduction, I hand over to Mr. Dahat and Mr. Pandey. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, madam. Thank you very much. Yes, friends, very good evening and welcome in this webinar. Today we are going to just see what is the admission process, how to prepare for the GRE, what is the right time, what are the type of the university, how to get admission in the university, what are the criteria for the scholarship. So all these things we are going to cover. Before that, I'm having the person who can give you some insights about the examination. Biblab sir, are there? Okay, I think he is not joined yet. No doubt, he is the tutor from Inter-Advice Education, and he used to teach students IELTS, TOEFL, PT, GRE, SAT, and GMAT. He is certified and very experienced tutor we do have, and I invited him today. He will join later on, so that time definitely he will speak with you. So now study MS in USA. So today seminar we are going to see there are many countries, not only USA, many countries, many destinations for the higher education, such as UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, in European Germany, Netherlands, Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia. So many countries are there, even Japan, so South Korea. These are the countries where students prefer to go for the higher education. But most of the engineering students, they are preferring USA, and that's the reason we selected today the country USA. We'll focus more about the admission in the USA. So the topics today we are going to cover, those are required test score and preparation, how to prepare for the test, documents required, funding requirements. So this is also very, very important part. University's fees and scholarship, admission process, university and course types. So type of university and type of courses. So which courses are in demand and how to get good university. So all this will cover in this. When to start application. So right time to start the application, right time to start the preparation of the examination, right time to appear for the exam, and right time to process your visa. So for this schedule also I will give you our services, what services we can provide, how we can take forward your application, your visa application, your interviews, and even post-landing services such as pickup and drop, problems and hurdle in this process, and then you can ask the questions so that we can answer your questions. So exam and score, basically there are certain examination you need to give. So why this exam? Because we are from the non-English speaking country. That's the reason to go for the higher education in English speaking country, you need to prove that you are having enough proficiency or command on the language. And they set certain examination. Those are TOEFL, IELTS, PT, and there is a newly introduced exam is Duolingo. So here you can see the marks, how much is required, what is the duration. So 3 hours duration you can see for TOEFL, IELTS and PT, and the marks. So total highest marks for TOEFL 120. Out of 120, if you score 90, then also most of the university will accept this score. In case of IELTS, out of 9 bands, if you score 6.5, not less than 6, then most of the university will welcome you. In case of the PTE, Pearson test of the English, if you score 60 out of 90, then also many universities will welcome you. And in case of the Duolingo, this is the recently introduced test. Out of 160, you need to score 105 to 110. And the test duration is just 45 minutes. And the cost of the test is only $49. But not all universities are accepting and not all immigration offices are accepting this exam right now. So before going for this exam, please speak with the concerned person like counselor, and then you can go ahead. Then second thing, whenever you are thinking about the MS admission, so for MS, GRE is mandatory in few of the university. Few of the university required score is 300 and plus. In few of the university, they said GRE required, even if you score 280, we can apply. And in few of the universities, they don't require even GRE. So with GRE good score, you can get good scholarship, you can get admission. With no GRE also, you can go ahead with the application and we can help. If after your bachelor's degree, you are willing to go for the management degree, maybe MBA or MIS like that. So most of the university, they ask for the GMAT score, and in the GMAT, you need to score 550 plus. The validity of IELTS, TOEFL, PT, Duolingo is 2 years from the exam date, and the validity of the GRE and GMAT is 5 years. So you have to keep in mind. So whenever, if you are willing, planning to go for higher education in abroad, so maybe in third year or maybe in the fourth year, you can appear for English proficiency test. And in the third year, you can prepare for GRE and you can go ahead with the examination because it is valid for 5 years. Now the documents which are required, very important thing. Many people, whenever the exam is over and we start the application, that time they struggle to get most of the documents such as LOR, because sometimes the institutes are closed, maybe sometimes the professors are not available. So better if you are in third year or maybe fourth year, you can get these LORs, and 3 letter of recommendations are required. Good letter of recommendations are required, and if you need sample, you can download our mobile application, which is InterAdvice. If you go to Play Store, you can download our application and you can get the samples of LOR. So don't copy it down. You need to make certain changes. And if you need our assistance, definitely our student advisor will help you. So transcripts and mark sheets. 10th, 12th bachelor degree. So these are the requirements. Again, after third year, means after sixth semester, you can go for the WES. So WES evaluation is required for many of the university, few of the university, they don't ask for the WES evaluation. So it depends on university, but I recommend that if you are planning to go ahead for the abroad education, especially in case of the USA or Canada, better you go for the WES evaluation, because you need to go to the university, you need to stamp all the documents and you need to send to the WES, and then you will get a report. SOP, which is very, very important document, and we have experts to prepare the SOP to help you in preparing the SOP statement of purpose. So your admission and your scholarship is depends on your SOP. Score reporting. So whenever you give the examination, so before that, you need to shortlist few of the universities, because the score reporting for 4 universities is free. If you are taking your TOEFL or maybe IELTS or maybe GRE, so before taking the examination, you shortlist the universities and you can get a code, and accordingly you can report this code to the university, which is free of cost. Later on, you need to pay for that. Financial documents. So what kind of the financial documents are required? Without financial documents, you are not able to get I-20 in case of the USA. So at the time of application only, you have to give these financial documents, maybe a loan, education loan letter or provisional loan letter, or maybe FDs, or maybe bank statement or balance certificate. Also, we need sponsorship letter if the fund is in your parents' account. So for that also format you can find in our mobile application. Number of sets. So how many sets are required? Because whenever you go to the university and ask for the LOR or maybe transcript, they will ask you how many sets are required. So you need to decide how many university you are going to apply. So number of universities plus one for the reference of the consultant or your reference. So that is required. Now, this is the Ivy League University. What is Ivy League University? So these are the oldest universities in the USA, basically northeastern part of the US. And these universities are having very high professional standard. Their tuition fees also very high, and these are the very, very popular university, and admission is very highly competitive. It is very difficult to get admission in this university if you are having very good percentage, and if your finances are very, very good. In that case, you can apply. No doubt, you can apply for the scholarship as well. Now, type of courses offered. Now, there are like say few UG courses and few bachelor's degrees, master's degree and doctorate programs are available. So now master's degree, basically I will focus on this master's degree because all the students, all of you are, I think, from the Bachelor of Science or Bachelor of Engineering. So duration of this master's degree generally 2 years in the USA, and there is a common examination for the evaluation of the program and few assignment. The title of the degrees are like MA, Master of Arts, Master of Science is MS, Master of Engineering, M Engineering, Master of Business Administration, MBA. And for courses like say management or engineering or LLM, the duration of the course may be 1 year in USA. In USA, few of the courses like Masters in Engineering or LLM or Management, they are having few programs. The duration of those programs is 1 year as well. But most of the program duration is 2 years. And second thing is like doctorate. So if you are willing to go for the PhD, then the duration of the PhD is 3 to 5 years. And again, GRE or GMAT, TOEFL or IELTS is required, plus your research proposal is required, and publication is also required. Now, here we can say the entry requirement for the master's program. So basically most of the US university, they demand for 16 years of the education, 12 plus 4. So engineering, no doubt, it is 12 plus 4, 4 years of the bachelor degree. So there is no any problem. Academic percentage, minimum 58% is required for the application, and minimum backlogs if you are having KTs. It depends on the university. And when we consider your profile or we'll do the assessment of the profile, that time we will definitely disclose the few name of the university where your profile is eligible. Acceptable score for the examination or standardized test, 300 plus for the GRE. For GMAT, it is 550 plus. For TOEFL, 80 plus, and IELTS 6.5 bands. And other factors like, yes, if you have done some work, maybe research or publication in your subject, so you need to attach that. You have to give your documents such as resume, letter of recommendation, and SOP. So definitely these documents, if you are having strong profile, then they will help you in getting good university and good scholarship. Now there are few exceptions as well. There are certain universities, they offer master's degree even if the student completed 15 years of the education. So there is one more criteria they consider. If the university or college from where you completed your bachelor degree is NAC A grade accredited. So if the accreditation is A graded, then they can consider your application, or best way you can do, you can go for the WES, you can get a report, and if WES says that your qualification is equivalent to the bachelor's degree in USA, then you can apply, there is no any problem. Again, GRE, GMAT is required, and as I told you, there are certain exceptions. Few of the university, they accept application even without GRE and GMAT. There are certain, again, few programs where with 15 years of the degree, or maybe if you are having less percentage, I told minimum 58% and minimum backlogs. If you are having many backlogs, if you are having less percentage, in that case also there are certain pathways. So into program, year program, so there are certain programs where you can go for the pathway program. You can complete the pathway program for 1 semester, and then in 1.5 years you can complete your master's degree. So anyways, in 2 years you will be able to finish your master's degree in USA. Now again, the USA is asking for the GPA. So they are not asking for the percentage. I told you 58%, that means 3 GPA. So GPA calculation, again, many students, they just stand here and there, they go to the Google, oh, what is the GPA, how to find the GPA. So here the GPA scale is given, percentage out of 100 and grade point average in USA scale. So if your percentage is 50 to 58%, it is 2.66, 58 to 60%, 3, 60 to 70, 3.33, and 70% to 80% is 3.66, and 80 plus is 4 out of 4. Now again, I told you there are the type of universities. So the what type of university? So STEM. I think you all are aware about the STEM. So STEM university, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So if you are completing the course in the STEM university or STEM course, then there are like you will get opportunity to get job. because in STEM university, they prepare you for the problem solving, for research analysis. They teach you how to develop the new idea, communication skill, adaptability, research, innovation. Numerous job opportunities are there because the two students are ready to face any critical problem, and that's the reason if you are going for the STEM university or STEM course, there are better chances of getting job. Another advantage of going for the STEM course or STEM university is OPT. OPT is like optional practical training. If you are going for the course, any course, you will get about 2900 hours, that is 1 year OPT, optional practical training. But if you complete your program from STEM university, then you will get 1 year optional practical training, plus if you get job in the same field, in the same subject in which you completed your education, you will get another 2 years optional practical training. That means you will get a 3 years stay back option in the USA after completion of your master's degree. So this is the best, like say why student choose STEM university. So most of the student, they are willing to have stay back option in USA. So this is the great option. Like say if you go for the STEM course, then 1 + 2, that means 3 years, you can stay in the country after completion of your program. You can work there, you can get experience, you can earn money, whatever you spend, you can get it. And there are many opportunities after completion of even this optional practical training. So now your time frame, how to go ahead, when to start the application. So coaching, if you are willing to go for the fall intake, means September intake, then when you have to start the coaching, June, July, August. 3 months are required to prepare for the GRE and TOEFL both. Coaching and then appear for the examination in the month of September. Your result will be out in the month of October, and then you can start application process in the month of October with all the documents. Then fall intake deadlines is like from November to May. Many of the university, top ranking university, they close the application in the month of November. And there are the university, they are open till the month of May. So between November to May, we can process the application, and then we can get I-20. I-20 is the offer letter, final acceptance letter by the university, which you can get in the month of March to June. So March to June, you can get your I-20, and then visa application, May to July, and you can fly to USA in the month of August. If you are looking for the spring intake, January intake, then coaching you can complete December, January, February in these 3 months. You can appear for the examination in the month of March. Your result will be out in the month of April. You can start application in the month of May. And then again, the commencement date are like say July to October. So we can start application from July to October. So this is the deadline for the application. And then I-20 will be issued from the month of October to December. And then in the month of November to December, we can apply for the visa, and you can fly to USA in the month of January. This is the schedule. If you work as per schedule, then definitely you will get good university, good scholarship, and you can reach in time, and you can resume your course. So here our services, how we can help you. So we are the expert counselors, we are having student advisor, we are having, we have multiple branches. So you can contact any of the counselor, and you can get a free counseling. Even because of the COVID-19 and lockdown, we are providing online video counseling to the student. We speak with the students and their parents, and we resolve all the queries of the students and parents. Documentation guidance. So what kind of documents you need to provide, in what format you need to provide, so which banks are acceptable, so that also guidance will provide to you. Training for TOEFL, IELTS, GRE SAT. As I told you, we do provide training for IELTS, GRE SAT, etc. Profile assessment, yes, we do that. As per the profile, we can select the university, we can give you the right choice of the university, we can apply in the right time, and we can get into the university in the right time. Application processing, yes, we do. You have to just take rest. We'll apply to the university and we'll get admission for you. Scholarship guidance, yes, we do. Scholarship guidance, we apply for the scholarship. In our mobile application, you will find different scholarships as well. Financial guidance, yes, how to get loan, what kind of the finance is available for the education, what kind of the scholarship is available, that also will help you. Visa application, we have 100% success rate of the visa. So don't worry, we will make you successful. Visa interview preparation, we have the team, they prepare you for the visa application, will give you certain questions as per your profile. And unless and until our counselor will be satisfied, they will not allow you to go for the visa application. So once we satisfied, we can apply and you can go and you can get your visa in one go. Accommodation is abroad. Yes, if you go through our website, you will find certain links. You can go there and you can even book, you can see the pictures of the accommodation and you can book your accommodation. Or else, if you need our assistance, definitely you can speak with our student advisor. Airport pickup and drop. Yes, this service also we provide. And visa extension and visa switching. So visa extension, if you are not able to complete your program in the given time frame, so how to extend the visa? If you completed the program and if you joined some company, so how to switch your visa from F1 to H1B, that guidance also we provide to you. So for more details, you can contact Mr. Ram Pandey sir or Mr. Amol Purandare sir. Contact numbers are given, and we have the branches like in Vashi, Vileparle, Akola, Mulund, Dombivli, Kalyan, Nashik, Uran, and London. So you can select any of the branch and you can go ahead for the services. So all the services are available. Any question you are having, you can ask me, and in few minutes, another university like say North Texas University will join us. Anybody is having any question, Kundar?
Students, in case you are having any question, you may ask.
Do you want to hear something about the COVID situation, when they will start the course and how they are handling the situation, when student will be able to join the university? Nobody is interested in this?
Hello.
Hello. Yes, please go on.
I'm interested that if the students are formally try to giving a GRE in this year, and what will be the situation for he will get admission in the university after this co-ed?
Yeah, basically most of the universities, they declare that they are going to deliver first semester online. So application they are accepting, even they are issuing the I-20. Okay, there is no any problem. Even online we can apply, and most probably VFS center will be open by next month. So that time you can go for the biometric and we can apply. And once you get a visa, you can start online learning. As soon as international borders will open, that time you can fly to USA and you can resume your offline program.
Okay.
So most probably what I'm thinking, by the end of December, all the like flights will start, and by January you will be able to join the program. So most probably 3 months you need to spend online. That's it.
Okay.
I think Biplab sir has joined. So,
Biplab sir, are you there? Yes. Any other question?
I'm there, yes.
Yes, sir. So actually we miss your session, but yes, you can continue for 5 to 10 minutes. Just speak about the student and let them know how to prepare for the GRE and
Okay.
tests like TOEFL and IELTS. Please, sir, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. I guess we are meeting after a long time, seems. See, apparently in this, amidst this COVID situation that we are all facing, we have questions in our mind, especially regarding training and especially regarding those examinations that have to face. For instance, IELTS, TOEFL, GRE, GMAT, even SAT, or PT examinations. Now, all of these examinations, this is for your information, all of these examinations are divided into different categories. One is an eligibility criteria, which is called the English proficiency test. And second one is to grade your ability, show them you are more eligible, to show them you are more able. So we have got different kinds of examinations such as GRE, GMAT, and SAT. Okay, so primarily you will choose one of these three examinations, namely IELTS, TOEFL, or PT, depending on which university, which institute, which country IPL suggests. And the second one is GRE, GMAT, or SAT, depending on, again, the university and the suggestion of IP. Now, when it comes to training and when it comes down to examination, please remember the period of 6 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks is required to prepare for IELTS. A period 3 months, that's up to 12 weeks, are required and is required to prepare for GA or MAT or MAT examinations. Now, I'll be asking you a few questions to know a little more about what exactly are you expecting of me. So if the students are online, can you tell me what exact kind of examinations are you looking at? Anyone can actually.
I would like to tell you, your voice is cutting. I don't know whether it is for my connection or it is for everyone.
Ma'am, this is for everyone.
Yes, yours is also.
Okay.
Yeah, this is for everyone actually.
So actually, we couldn't hear you. At least I couldn't hear you properly. I don't know about others.
Okay, fine. Biplab sir, thank you very much. We'll go ahead next time. And now we have Fareen from University of the North Texas. Hello, Fareen.
Okay.
Hello, Fareen, are you there?
Okay. Perfect.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, Kamendra. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Perfect.
Yes, you can start the presentation.
Sure.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
please.
This is basically for us to talk about how University of North Texas is preparing for students to come in and join the fall semester. So in the current circumstances, we all know there's a lot of uncertainty around for students to come in for the fall semester. We are preparing at the university for students to come. If they are not able to come in, they can at least start their semester online as well. So University of North Texas particularly is preparing for the students to join in the online pattern for the first semester. and then they can continue in the spring semester as a continuing student from the second semester onwards. This is the major way that we are moving forward in terms of students who will come and join the university. Besides, yes, in the current circumstances where we do not know whether the embassies are planning to open anytime soon or not, whether the flights will start before August or not for the students to join on the campus. The students do have questions like whether we will be able to attempt the last semester of our undergraduate studies and come on the campus for the master's degree. So in that case, what we are planning to do is we are accepting students on the basis of 4-1 mark sheets, or maybe 3-2 if they do not have 4-1 mark sheets as well. And then later on, once they receive their results, maybe an online or offline, they can actually submit those to us. And we waived off GRE and GMAT requirements for most of our programs, considering that a lot of students were not able to take the exams during February, March, April, and May. So College of Business is one where we have actually waived off GRE and GMAT, and then College of Engineering. Most of the students, Indian students, apply for College of Engineering, College of Business. We also offer we also have College of Science, where we offer biochemistry and biotechnology, molecular biology programs. But that's where we do not have a GRE waiver as such. We need GRE compulsorily for anybody who is willing to study of science. Apart from that, we have also started accepting IELTS indicator, which is the online IELTS exam, the TOEFL exam, which is the TOEFL home test, which is the online TOEFL exam that the students write. And also we accept Duolingo. Duolingo is another test which is online completely for the students to write for English proficiency. So we accept all these 3 exams for students to apply in the fall intake. We are also gearing up now for our spring semester, which starts in the month of January. In the month of January, we usually have a lot of students who join us as well. And this year, maybe a lot of students are planning to defer their admission because of the university experience that they want coming to the US. So spring used to be like a bonus intake for us, but now the value of spring intake has become eminent in the student recruitment for all of us. So Kamindra, do you want me to address any specific questions that the students might have?
I think you were explaining about GRE and GMAT.
Yes.
At times you will be waiving off. So just if you could just elaborate a little more on that, because students are continuously asking about these. They were not able to give the exams. So if you could elaborate.
So there is GRE online test as well, which is the home test. We are actually accepting that for students if they want to write it. But in the College of Engineering, where we have most of our programs in computer science, artificial intelligence, computer engineering, and all of that, we have removed the requirement. We have temporarily waived off the requirements for fall semester. So the students can apply without GRE and get an admission on the basis of IELTS, TOEFL or PTE or Duolingo, and on the basis of their GPA. So we are holistically reviewing the applications, which means we are going to have review the students' LORs, SOP, besides their mark sheets for us to make a decision on the applications. Similar to College of Business, where we have finance, MBA or business analytics is also waived off. GI or GMAT is waived off for that particular college as well. And all these programs that I've just mentioned is actually STEM, which means that the students can get 5 years of visa from India F1 visa, which will include 2 years to study and 3 years of OPT. Which includes the STEM extension of OPT of 2 years. So the total duration for visa would be 5 years that the students will get for College of Engineering and College of Business both. If the students apply for spring or fall 2021, they are required to write GRE or GMAT. We have not yet decided whether we want to waive off for the next intakes also. It will completely depend on how the situations evolve. But for fall, yes, we have waived it off.
Any other question?
Thank you. Thanks for your
Yeah.
discussion.
Yes. Any specific other questions that the students come up with?
Ma'am, I have a question. GRE is waived off for fall 21 or fall 20?
Fall 2020. So GRE is waived off for fall 2020, but we do not know whether we will continue for fall 2021 or spring 2021 with the waiver. We might reinstate the requirements for spring 2021 as well. Depends on how the situations evolve. If the GRE exams and GMAT exams do not start here in India anytime soon, then we might have to waive off for spring intake also. But to foresee for fall 2021, the requirements will certainly be back to normal, which is 300 to 305 for most of our programs.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. My question is something like same that now the current students are going for GR pass out students apply for MS.
Correct.
They are going for this 2021.
Correct.
Then what is the situation that the students giving GRE for next few months they will apply for?
I'm sorry. So, do you mean that what will happen in the next 2 months if GRE GMAT exams
Next 2
start?
months or next 6 months if the students apply for GRE?
If the students apply for GRE, yes.
Yeah. Then what will be their admission year?
Okay, so if the students have a GRE, if the students get a chance to write GRE, that's actually very good. But if they have been admitted without GRE, say for an example, the student applied, he got an admission to Masters in Computer Science without GRE for fall 2020 intake, and maybe mid of June there was an announcement that GRE centers are now open, and the student takes the GRE examination by the end of June. The admissions is not affected because if the student was already admitted, even if he writes GRE or he is not writing GRE, that will not affect on the admissions.
Okay. Okay.
Ma'am, I want to ask
Yes.
for fall 21, by till what time can we see the criteria? Because in coming 4 months, we'll have to apply for fall 21. So by the time we are supposed to be done with our GRE, TOEFL exam and everything. So when do we get to know what exactly are the criteria for fall 21 admission process?
So at this moment, I would say I cannot commit anything as such on that part because we are not even very clear about fall 2020, let alone fall 2021. So I would say, see, the situations evolved and we adjusted ourselves to kind of wave off GRE from the month of April. End of March and April is when we announced GRE waiver because we understood that nobody will be able to write it. Similarly, if the situations do not come under control till September, worst case scenario, and there are no GRE exam centers that are open for students. One option that we might consider is the student takes the GRE test online and submit the scores to us, which is very strong recommendation that we do often to the students. And if not, the situations do not improvise till then, we might continue for a waiver. But yes, I would still say that by fall 2021, by September, October, or August, we will have a better clarity. And not just August or September, I would say we are expecting some clarity by the first or second week of June itself, because moving forward for the fall 2020 intake is very important for the students to understand from June itself. Things will be very clear for us by that time. You still have 4 more months. So what I suggest is you prepare for your GRE, because any day, anytime when the GRE exam centers open, you should be able to write your GRE.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. So Tanmay is asking, GRE is not waived for 2021. No, there is a high possibility that GRE will not be waived off for 2021. 2021 is still far off for us to think of. Spring or fall, mostly we will have the GRE requirements back to what they were, around 300 to 305 for most of the programs.
Yeah, Farin, good evening. Kundan here.
Yes, Kundan.
Yeah. So how many backlogs or ATKTs are accepted?
So we accept up to 8 backlogs for the maximum for a 4-year undergraduate degree, like from an engineering degree, or even 6 years of pharmacy degree, up to 8 backlogs. We are also one of the universities which accept 3 years of bachelor's, which is 15 years of education, which is pretty common in Mumbai and in Maharashtra, or in most of the parts where BBA, BCom students are usually having 3 years of degree. So we are a university which accepts 15 years of education, provided that the students come from a NAC A graded institution, which is NAC A accredited institution, and they have a high percentage of 70 and above. If these two conditions are met, we will be able to accept them directly without any bridge, without any intensive pathways to most of our programs at the master's level for a 15 years of education.
Okay, thank you. And what about the student if they are having an educational gap?
Education gap after 12th or after graduation and they
After
were
12th,
working?
if he is having 1 year gap or something.
Okay, so after 12th, if we say the students, we are accepting students who have gaps after 12th for up to 7 years, provided that they have justifiable reasons for why the gap was there. Maybe they were working, or maybe there were certain circumstances where they had to quit their bachelor's and start working. For master's level, after undergraduation, the gap as such, we do not have a cap. And in the US, I recently had a student in spring 2020 who had 10 years of work experience, and he applied and he was able to get through his visa also. So it completely depends on what you are doing in those gap years. If you're sitting idle, then yes, it will be a problem for us to accept you and for the visa embassy to also accept you for your visas.
Okay. Thank you. One more question is there. Considering the situation of the pandemic, is it as advisable to do MS in this year or do it after 1 or 2 years?
Okay, so that's a very good question, I would say, is because now, considering the situations across the entire globe, not just India, we are facing recession. There'll be a lot of layoffs and furloughs that we will see throughout this year. So I would suggest that this is the time when you should invest in your education rather than struggling to find a particular job for yourself. In 2 years, the world will be in a different economy, in a different pace altogether. In 1 year maximum, or maybe 1.5 or 2 years maximum, the economy will be recovered. And you should be back in the job scenario that time. You should be ready for a job in the next coming 1.5, 2 years, rather than that time thinking of doing a master's. So this is the right time when you should actually invest your time into studies, rather than focusing on maybe doing a master's maybe in a year or two, because that will only extend your times for finding a job. Now consider 2009, 2008 recession. So whosoever was actually graduating in that point in time, he had the first hand, they had the first hand on most of the jobs. Most of those jobs that were taken for those students, they were highly paid, because they had the most advanced skill set that is required for the economy to pace themselves. And that's why I think we should learn from that and keep ourselves ready for the 2022 year, when everything is into a different normal, but things will be much better than what we see now.
Thank you for.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am, my question is that you are saying that many of the university not looking in the GRE scores.
Correct.
So what exactly they want? Is they looking for the CGPA or LOR or something else?
Correct. So as mentioned, we are very strongly looking at the GPA for the students. That was always a very crucial requirement for North Texas. But yes, we are also more focused on students' SOPs, letters of recommendation, and their CVs, because that's something that will denote their strength in terms of compensating with GRE. So we're looking at a holistic review of the profile, which includes GPA, SOP, LORs, and CV for the applicant.
Okay, SOP, CGPA,
LORs, and CV.
Okay.
So that also has a lot of weightage towards the internships and projects that the students have done in the 4 years of undergraduate degree.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah. And minimum CGPA, is there any requirement of minimum CGPA for this?
Yes, absolutely. So minimum GPA for UNT is 3.0 on a 4.0 scale in the US, which comes to about 67% in most of the universities across India. 67% minimum, or else I would say a 6.8 GPA on 10 is the minimum that we need for the students.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Farin, I have one question for you. Good evening.
Yes, please. Good
Hello.
evening. Yeah.
Farin, can you hear me?
Yes, I can certainly, please.
Please speak about the fee structure, because students they are asking often this one question: what is the fee structure? And please throw some light on accommodation charges also.
Okay, so if I have to say a little bit about generic information about University of North Texas, I'll begin with that. So we're located in the southern part of the US, which is Texas, which is the most southern state of the US. We are located in the north region of that state, where the name itself says University of North Texas. So we're located in Dallas-Fort Worth area in Denton City. Now, if I have to say what is really special about DFW area, or what is really special about Texas, so Texas is more of we all know Houston. NASA is in the Houston city, which is also a part of Texas state. So we are very strong in engineering and IT. IT is we are top 4 in the development of IT industries in the entire US at this moment. So engineering and IT are two big strengths of Texas state. Whereas we also know Texas Healthcare Research Center, which is in Fort Worth area, which has a lot of research facilities related to cancer, and even now coronavirus research vaccines are actually prepared there in Austin and in Fort Worth region. So these are few specialities, or I would say strengths of Texas, where the students can aim for. And Texas is actually a place which is very hot and dry. Indians are more comfortable with this environment because we were born in a temperate zone. We are more used to hot and dry climates rather than being in a place where it snows a lot. Mostly, at least Maharashtrians are. So Texas is actually one of the states which is hot and dry. Besides that, if I talk about fee structure, if you compare Texas fee structure, or not just Texas, I would say rather the entire southern and the central USA, compare it to Bay areas and northeastern part of the US, which will include Boston, Washington, New York, New Jersey, California, San Francisco, Chicago, these top cities. If you compare these cities with southern part, which will include Texas, Arizona, Arkansas, Florida, these are much more affordable, not just in tuition but also in the living expenses. So our tuition fees at UNT for an undergraduate student, which means a 4-year of bachelor's degree, per annum they would spend at least about $38,000 per annum, including everything, which means $21,500 for their tuition and about $12,000 for their living expenses on campus. Undergraduate students need to stay on campus for the first year in the US by law. So the fee structure for undergraduate students is 21,500 students. Assuming that there are more master students in this conversation here, master's fee structure will be roughly about $16,000, $16,000 to $17,000 per annum. $16,000 to $17,000 per annum is the fee structure for 2 semesters, 1 year. Most of the master's programs are of 2 years, so that multiplies by 2. And the living expenses for off-campus stay is roughly between $8,000 to $10,000 per annum. $8,000 to $10,000 is when you stay off campus, sharing apartments, or even if you stay alone. This is what the average cost will be, which also includes you traveling traveling on the campus. Mostly students prefer traveling using shuttle services, which are available because they already paid for shuttle services in the tuition cost, one, and that also saves them a lot of money rather than investing in maybe their own personal car or own personal bicycle or something like that.
I missed one. You said 16 for postgraduate students, 16
Correct.
to 17,000.
$16,000 to $17,000
per semester per annum.
Per annum. This is per annum.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you. I got it.
Farin, any idea about number of Indian students studying in the campus?
Yes, absolutely. So our student strength, so we are a huge campus. We are a very old university. We are about 39,000 students, 39,000 students in total. And the international student strength is roughly about 4,000, which includes Indian student strength of 500 approximately. Indians are the highest number of students that we have, followed by Chinese and South Koreans, and even we have a lot of students that come from Nepal and UAE.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. My question is that if students are giving TOEFL, so can we go for TOEFL or IELTS?
Okay, so TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo, or PTE, all are equivalent for us. We accept all 4 exams. If the student needs to write a TOEFL exam, we need a 79 on that. If they decide to write IELTS, we need a 6.0. We do not need 6.5. We need 6.0. For PTE, we need 53, and there is another test which is called as Duolingo. We accept that with 100 score for the students. All are equivalent for us. There is no discrimination that we have as such for students.
Hi, Farin, Amol here. I have a question for you. Can you just throw some light on the scholarship criteria as well as the availability of the part-time jobs while studying for the benefit of the students?
Sure. So scholarships at the master's level, I understand, because mostly here we see a lot of master's students. So we do offer a lot of scholarships and assistantships. We are a tier 1 public research university, which means tier 1 is just given to top 3% of universities by Carnegie classification, and we are one amongst them. We are a public research university, which means state funded, and that's why that is also one of the reasons why our fee structure is affordable. Scholarships and assistantships are awarded to the students on the basis of how they perform in their undergraduate studies and even once they're on the campus in their graduate studies. So those are very, very competitive, I would say. We offer assistantships and scholarships to the students, but it completely depends on the funding availability for that particular department. It also depends on how good, how many number of applicants that we have who are already interested in these scholarships and assistantships. So from the first semester, I would say it is a little difficult for a student to crack a scholarship or an assistantship, but from the second semester onwards, it is more easy because they are on the campus, they are working with the professor, the professors are teaching them and they can approach them for directly for a scholarship or an assistantship. That helps them create a bond as well. So assistantships are also somewhere I feel bond favored. If you are a good student, you have an opportunity to get an assistantship with that particular professor. If your grades are good in that particular subject, you are on a most likelier scale for getting an assistantship under that professor. I do say that we have scholarships and assistantships again, but competitive. In Texas, there is another very important factor I would say for students to consider Texas as a state. Is the $1,000 competitive scholarship. So in Texas, if the student qualifies for $1,000 competitive scholarship, they pay fees as an in-state or a domestic student, which is roughly half. So when I say 17,000 is the fee structure for per annum, and if a student qualifies for $1,000 of scholarship or assistantship, their fee structure is changed to $9,000 per annum, which is a huge difference for any applicant. And this is offered in very few states. Hardly, we can count them. It's so rare that any state can offer this to the students, and Texas being one of them. And we have an accreditation called the Southern Association of Schools and Councils, which allow us to do that. You there, Amol?
Yes,
Amol,
thanks for this clarification. I really appreciate the way you have put it up. And the second query is about the availability of part-time jobs, because
yes.
majority of the students are interested to understand the scenario of the part-time jobs while studying. So can you just throw some light on it?
Correct. So for the part-time jobs, as I was saying, that our campus is a very huge campus. It's a 835-acre campus, a very widespread in the city of Denton. So we do have a lot of part-time jobs starting all the way from department jobs, which are also counted as assistantships. There are also other opportunities which will include working at Starbucks or working in subways or working in libraries or in the infirmaries and all of that. So we do have these opportunities for students, and they're allowed to work up to 20 hours per week. I would say how the students qualify for a part-time job. Number one, I would say, is that even though you're here right now in India, and if a student is planning to go for, say, fall 2020 intake, they should start connecting with their seniors. because they are going to leave and you are going to occupy their jobs. That's the thing, right? Somebody goes and then you are replacing them for a job. So one thing is that you should definitely get in touch with your seniors so that they can guide you, make an application here. It's easier to get a job in this place rather than you following maybe a department assistantship, because it was tougher. So first is definitely you connecting with seniors, and now social media is a place where we can do anything and everything. Facebook, LinkedIn, these will help you in connecting with a lot of seniors. Secondly, once you're there on the campus, within 1 month, you will have a lot of opportunities to explore around the campus, and that will help you in getting a part-time job very easily. I have a lot of students who used to come back to me and say that within a month or within 2 months, they already have a job which is not 20 hours per week, because they have their study commitments. They only take it up for maybe 15 hours maximum, but we allow them to work 20 hours for sure.
Farin, that's very kind of you to elaborate it. Now, one more question, that after studies, okay. Now,
Yes.
after studies, does the university have some placement cell to assist the international students? Because few of them may have this open work visas by the way of OPTs or CPTs. So can
Correct.
just throw some light on the placement scenario? It will be appreciable.
Absolutely. So that's like a very important factor, and that's where I started also talking about what is Texas really famous for. So the most important aspect for when a student starts to decide on a university, they should also check their career advising cell. So we have a specific international students career advising cell and a combined, like a co-ed for domestic and international students together, housed in the same career center cell. So that helps the students develop their skills through multiple workshops and seminars that we conduct throughout 4 semesters or 4 years for the students. That's a part of their studies. Also, in even in the current circumstances, there are a lot of companies who are still recruiting. For an example, PepsiCo was recruiting recently. We had Lockheed Martin that came to us, who was recruiting students. We have many other companies, even Dell and Toyota were there on our campus recently, who were recruiting even in this pandemic situation, because they wanted to advance their strength in moving everything online. So we conducted online, we conducted virtual career fairs for the students. Usually, University of North Texas, we conduct about 80 career fairs in a year, 80 to 100 career fairs in a year. That ranges anywhere between some only specific to your department, like some are only specific for CS, some are only specific for maybe College of Business, some are mostly focused on part-time jobs, some are more focused on the full-time OPT or CPT opportunities for students. So these are the ways that the students can find jobs. In India, engineers usually get placed. So that's a word that is too cliche for me. They get placed on campus. In US, it's not that way. We treat everyone fairly. So even if you're a college of, even if you studied liberal arts, even if you study psychology with us, you still have to undergo the same process, whereas an engineer has to do. With engineers, the benefit I would say is that you have a lot of lab work to do. You have a lot of tools. For an example, we have a NASA sponsored virtual reality lab on our campus, and you have got a project working on that particular lab, and you have excelled that project. You were very good at it, and NASA came to our campus, or they have a very specific online event for students who work with them. You can actually portray your skills to them. So you already have a strong foot forward over other students who are doing nothing to contribute to NASA, and you are already working on a project for them. So you are valued more than other students, because one, you will have something concrete to talk. You will have to discuss a project, and they will be keen to hear on how you and your professor is trying to work on a particular aspect for them. So they'll be more interested in talking to you rather than talking to anybody else. So lab work is something that you should take very seriously. That's the difference where India and US is, right? Lab work, practicality of education. Indian education still, I would feel, is there are few universities, there are IITs obviously that we have, there are NIITs that we have, but then still a lot of practicality is still missing in the Indian education system, and which is why students go to study in the US. And if you get the benefit of doing lab work, you should focus on that, because that's where your career or your OPT journey starts.
Hello.
Yes.
My question is that now the students are currently doing courses on EDX or Coursera. So
Correct.
is it valid, or it will be the considered in their CV that they are getting a certificate from Coursera, but it is
Yeah, I get it. So I do hear a lot of students asking me this, and I would say, so for an example, we have a master's in cybersecurity program, and an ex-student applies to that, and in the meantime, he's also finished his Coursera certificate for cybersecurity, maybe level 1 or 2, and he got a certification from Georgia Tech or some other university. So he can certainly mention that in the CV, because that helps, that really helps in you being already known about that subject. You're already having at least some idea on what cybersecurity is, what is that you're going to learn in cybersecurity. Those certificates, if you do a short-term certificate of 1 month or 3 months, it's going to give you brief information on what you're going to study for a 2 years program. So if you do that certificate, you have some basic idea, and that will certainly help us evaluate also. A lot of students do ask me whether we should take an internship, whether we should do a project in the time that we have in summer months, and I encourage them to do it because that adds value to their CVs also. And this is also one contributing factor towards their scholarships.
okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Uh, so there are a few questions that I have in the chat that I'd like to address. One is, will the COVID-19 situation hamper the following factors: visa, internships, and scholarships? So Prateek has asked me this question, and so Vedant has also asked this question to me. So I would like to tell COVID-19 situation hamper visa first. I would say yes, visas are getting hampered, because if you see now is the time that the students should already been doing their visa preparation, book slots, but we're nowhere close to it. We don't even really know whether the embassy is starting on 4th of June or not. There is a notification that keeps floating on USCIS website, which states that they are planning to reopen on June 4th or after June 4th, but there is no certainty in that. So with all that chaos in your mind, I would say, or in rather than everybody's minds, universities do not know what's going to happen. You do not know what's really going to happen, and you're so confused whether you should actually defer your admission right now, or you should wait for the visa embassy to start and then try and book an appointment and go for your visa interview. And if you do not get it, you then defer your admission. So yes, COVID-19 is certainly hampered visas for USA. And considering that we still do not have a clarity on whether the flights will start anytime in July or August, there is also some uncertainty there. Though there are notifications which state that now before August we will have international flights coming in and going out. But yes, all the clarifications are still awaited. So that's one. Internships. So there's CPT. CPT is the summer internship that you do while you're studying for 2 years. I would say yes, CPT is hampered OPT, I would say no. OPT is something that you do after your 2 years of master's program for 3 years. That is not hampered at all, but still stay intact. And I would say you'll be in a much better position if you do your masters now for 2 years, and you will be stepping into a new economy and would be the pioneers of many jobs in future. CPT, I'd like to highlight some point here. So CPT, curriculum practical training, which we say, which is also called a summer internship in a lame language. It needs 2 semesters for you to be on the campus. That's the requirement. That's the basic requirement, that you need to be on the campus for 2 semesters. So if a student starts in the fall of 2020 online, 1 semester online, that is from August till December. Then the second semester they will go and study on the campus, which is January till April. Then you need to wait for another long semester, which is going to be fall again, August till December. So 2 semesters, January to April and August to December will be your 2 semesters, and Jan of 2022 is when you qualify to start an internship. Now, the same structure actually follows for spring. If you start in spring of 2020, you still have 1 semester which starts from January to April, and then the second semester will be August till December, and you're only eligible to apply for a summer internship between from January of 2022. Now the question here arises is why we do not have a semester between May till July. Is because May till July is a summer term. We do not have a summer term for international students except for continuing students. So right now in the current circumstances, a lot of students have started summer classes because they cannot come back to India. They do not have many part-time jobs there. So what are they going to do instead of wasting time? They took some subjects online. So summer has very limited subjects, and it is called in the US language as a short semester. It's not considered as a long semester, and that's why those 4 months cannot be counted against your semester for you to start an internship. Again, I'd like to highlight here what is the reason that you should take first semester online. What is the benefit of you taking first semester online and not deferring to spring? I have made it clear that if you start in fall of 2020 or if you start in spring of 2021, your CPT remains the same. This is one point for sure. But why you should start in the month of fall, in the month of August, and not wait till January for spring semester? Because even us, we are now evaluating fee structure for online fees, online program, online semester, and that will be a fraction of your cost. 17,000 divided by 2, about $9,000 per semester. You're not going to pay $9,000 to us, so you're instead saving a lot of money. These classes will be recorded sessions or synchronous pattern, which means sometimes there'll be a Zoom call like this, there'll be virtual classes. Most of the sessions will be recorded for you to take them later on as per your convenience. So these factors will also help you work here. If you already have a job, you can continue till you go, till you fly. So that's another point. So you're not just saving money, but you're making money also. So this is one important factor that every student should keep in mind when they start in fall. Now, a lot of students also ask me who have recently graduated that I don't want to do an online semester. I'm not interested in that. Okay, I understand. It's the feel of going to an American university that really matters a lot for us. I completely understand that you want to start that from the first day itself, but you should also consider that if you go for a visa interview, the visa officer is concerned whether you were able to keep your studies on track or not. And if you commit to an online semester at UNT, or rather any institution, you have made yourself, you have shown your commitment towards your studies, and that itself shows that you're a genuine student. You are really willing to study your masters, and you're not going to, you're not looking at illegal immigration as such. So your visa chances are much better compared to other students. Now we all know how tough a visa interview can be for US. It's all about luck, we say. Sometimes we also see very good profiles getting rejected at times. In the US, you can reapply. That's one benefit that we have. So I would say keeping studies on track is really important for you at this moment, even if it's through online mode. Because what you will do if you're not doing the online semester, what are you going to do? You will do maybe a Coursera certificate or an edX certificate. What if we are providing you a semester in the cost of same money? Would you not be interested in doing that? Scholarships, I think I already answered Vedant and Pratik. So I'll move on to the next question. Is there anybody who has any question, or should I continue with the questions in the chat?
Yeah, Farin, there is a question.
Yes.
Do you accept students for MIS without a work experience?
MIS with, sorry?
Without work experience.
Yes, absolutely. We accept for all programs without work experience. You don't need work experience for any program. I would recommend for an MBA, you should have work experience, but this is not an admission criteria as such. Even if there is a fresher who want to do an MBA, we will still accept them.
Okay. Thank you.
I have few questions here. For students applying in 2021, will there be any mandatory for one semester online and the second at the campus? No, not really, Vedant. We will not have any such requirements. Now, even say for an example, everything is back to normal, visa embassy start, students fly out for the fall semester. What will happen in the fall semester, I'll tell you over there on the campus, is what we are actually working on also right now. Most of the classes that have bigger class trends, for example 60, or maybe because there are big lecture halls also, so if these kinds of lectures will be moved completely online, so even though a student is going to the campus, they will still have blended learning. Few courses which have lab work, they will be taken on the campus for the students, but courses that can be completely taught theoretically will be moved online. So there will not be any such requirement as a semester online, but yes, few courses, few days, you will have online classes also. Then we have a question from Tanmay, who's asking if there is electrical and computer engineering at UNT. Yes, we offer. If I have to name the programs in engineering, we offer starting from artificial intelligence, biomedical engineering, cybersecurity, computer science, computer engineering, electrical engineering. We also offer construction management, mechanical and energy engineering, mechanical systems, material science and engineering, which is industrial engineering for a lot of students. We also offer data science and information science in our College of Information. So we do offer a lot of engineering programs. Engineering management is also one program that we offer. Kanchan has a question: should we take the GRE home test or wait for the test centers to open up? So a lot of universities like UNT have started are accepting GRE home test. So if the student can take it, I would suggest please go for it, because it's much easier compared to the GRE that you will take in a regular pattern. So yeah, I think you should go for it. There's a question from Amrita which states, please brief me on the job scenario after MS in India and Texas. After MS. So after MS, what will happen, I'll tell you. In Texas, I've already given you a brief information on what fields are popular. In Texas, oil, petroleum, mining industries are very popular. Even NASA, I told you already, Lockheed Martin, the company that also offers fighter jets to India. So all these engineering related stuff is definitely very popular in Texas. Besides that, IT is coming up, Dell, Toyota, Siemens, Philips, whatnot, Samsung, all these companies are definitely there in DFW area. So job there is competitive, yes. If you are good in what you are doing, then you will get a job. If you are an average student, you will struggle for a job. That's the say here in India also, and that's what goes there also. So you should definitely keep your grades high. Okay, if you're not a good student in terms of GPA, you should do good projects. You should really compensate with something. Now let's talk about India, because not everyone gets an OPT, not everyone gets H1B visa. And let's be realistic that it is going to be there, that a lot of students might plan to come back to India. So what is going to happen here with them in India? I connected with a few students who graduated from UNT and are here in India. They're working in top companies at a good position, which is definitely a factor because they have a master's degree from US, an American education, and that has high value in India. No, nothing can beat American education. Yes, IITs and NIITs are there, but not everyone qualifies for IITs, right? Also have a dream of studying in IIM, but that's something which is unrealistic for me as well, and we need to come to terms with that. So an American education is the same. Whether you go to, yes, I would not say Harvard degrees is going to be same as UNT, but if you really compare any university in US, these are better. These are much better, very competitive. But University of North Texas, Arizona State, Florida, so many institutions are there. These are all similar. They follow the same pattern. And if you have a master's degree from US and you come back to India, your degrees will hold a very high value in terms of you finding a job. Second, with China and US, what's really happening in India is not it's not new for us. A lot of companies from China will be moving to US, will be moving to India. We are all hearing a lot of stuff where many companies are now grounding their selves to come to India or South Korea or Japan or US. So this will be a great benefit for us. Amazon has their biggest infrastructure in India. Who can forget that? That's in Hyderabad. So we should definitely mark these points for anybody who would come back to India, that you have opportunities here in India also when you come back. And you will be better in terms of other graduate students from India, because you have studied in the US, you already have maybe OPT exposure also. So that will help you here in India finding a job. There is another question from Amrita again, average salary after completing masters. So in US, average salary that a master's degree holder can get is $65,000. Get then, but we also have students who have got $1,20,000 per annum packages also. We have students working in Qualcomm, we have students working in Samsung, in Dell, in Abbott Laboratories, who have better packages compared to 65,000. 65,000 is the least minimum average package that a student gets. Has a question, do you have any internship programs? So we do offer CPT and OPT internships, if that is what you're meaning to ask. CPT is curriculum practical training, which you take by your 2 years of graduation, 2 years of masters, I'm sorry. And OPT is something that you do after your 2 years of masters is done. That has a duration of 3 years. Should we take the GRE home test? Okay, I have already responded to this question. Something for you. Anybody else has any other questions that I should talk about? Maybe Amol or Kundan, if you have any specific questions.
I think there is no more question now. I think there is no more question. Afreen? Sorry, Fareen.
No worries. So Fatima has a question that states, do companies in America look at which university you graduated from? Yes, absolutely. So we have section 1, section 2, section 3 universities, NAC A, NAC B universities grading scales that we do follow. We don't follow UGC because every university is UGC accredited in India. So these are two definitely that we follow. So we don't grade Mumbai University and um, Solapur University in the same level. Mumbai University is far better for us. It's like section A, but Solapur University is section B. So we do see which university did you graduate from. Now, there's a student who is from IIT, but he's just got a GPA of 5.7. And there is a student from Mumbai University who has a GPA of 6.5. We would still go with the IIT student, even though his GPA is less because he graduated from IIT. And we all know IITs are much tougher in terms of syllabus, in terms of grading scale than Mumbai University. So yes, we do look at which university we do graduate from. It's a prerequisite.
I think all the questions are answered now.
Wonderful. I would like to add maybe a couple of points. One is that we also have one of the top 4 biggest airports of the US, which is DFW Airport, Dallas Fort Worth Airport. Any Samsung mobile that literally comes into the US actually comes from DFW Airport. Any flight that comes to JFK Airport would come to DFW Airport also, which means the massive scale of operations, which also means there are a lot of job opportunities for students in DFW area. If we were an economy, we were actually the top 9th economy in the entire world. That's where we stand. Recently, when Modi ji had to come to US, he decided to come to Texas. He decided to come to Houston, which itself states how close association Texas and India has and will have in future. There's a pilot project for under Bell Helicopter. Bell Helicopter is a company which works on defense gears for a lot of countries. A lot of that production happens here in India, which very few of us know. In central India and in the southern part of India, there are a lot of companies that work under Bell Helicopters umbrella. So that is a company in Texas, obviously, is why I'm meaning to say this, that we already have a very strong association with Texas. Coming to an association with US, a lot of students do ask me whether I should go to US or whether I should go to Canada or Australia or maybe UK. So here I'd like to address them as well. All the countries are individual, very good. Every country has its own specific strengths and weaknesses. Tech obviously comes to US, engineering comes to US, pharmaceutical I would say goes to some other country. Then maybe management, UK tops in management. So these are few strengths and weaknesses that any country would have for sure. But if you see recently what's been happening in the world, with the relationships with China, with the relationships with India, we have luckily Modi government was able to help a lot of countries develop, and in this COVID situation, we have some countries are helping us. So the bond is definitely great with US also at this moment. Trump is all good with US, with Indians. So this is the best time for anybody to go to US and study, because it's also the election year. November 3rd is the date that we're eagerly waiting for US elections to come, to see what's really going to happen in future. But again, I would say Trump is very favorable for Indian students. So if at all you are planning to study, you should certainly try and start now rather than postponing it and waiting for the circumstances to get over and then plan for your master's. then you might be a little, then you might feel like you've been laid back somewhere, because this is the time for you to focus on your masters.
Farin, thank you. Thanks. Purandare madam, should we conclude now, or any question is there any question from the student side?
I suppose we are done. Fareen has given complete review of education in North Texas. I suppose we should conclude. And if, in case you have any announcement for the next seminar, you can just give them, so that they will tell other students also, those who couldn't join today.
Students, I have one important announcement. VIIT and our company Inter Education, we are planning 4 more sessions like this. Next, every Tuesday at 4 p.m. we are planning same sessions for you. 10 more universities from 4 countries are we are inviting them to have an interaction with you. Please inform all the students, your friends, your relatives. Please inform all of them, so that next time more number of students would be joining this session. We will be coming with a different university, maybe from USA or New Zealand or UK. We are planning on that, and be in touch with Purandare madam. She will inform you accordingly. So thank you very much, Fareen. Thanks for accepting our this invitation. Thank you for sparing your valuable time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad that I was able to come and speak to the students and help them understand more of how they can plan further.
Thank you.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Radhika madam.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Radhika madam, my special thanks goes to you. Deshpande sir, today unfortunately he could not attend. Yeah. Hope next time probably he will be here.
Yes.
Thank you very much, madam, for giving us this space. Thanks.
May I speak to you once this conference is over? Once everyone has finished, I would like to talk to Mr. Kamendra and Mr. Pandey.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So students, thank you very much, because without your attendance, this would not have been possible. Thanks. Please share this webinar with your relatives, with your friends, because a lot of students are there in the campus, and they would be also, because the whole idea of conducting this kind of seminar is to increase the awareness, is to talk about the exciting facilities, infrastructure that are available in various universities abroad. So if you are aware about that, you can definitely think of going there also. So please speak with your friends. So thank you very much, my central office team, Kundanji, Amrita, Amol sir, thank you very much, because without your hard work, this is not possible. I know it very much. Thanks, Kamendra sir. Thank you, Purnima madam. Thanks.
Thank you very much, everyone.